Hey, this is Dan Hartley again with Hartley Hearing Aid Services. We're at our office here in DeSoto, Missouri. I got my new client here, Jim. He's from Fredericktown, Missouri. How many miles is that south of here, Jim?
Probably 60, 70 miles.
Yeah, 60, 70 miles. That's what I thought. My daughter lives in Fredericktown, Missouri, out there on H Highway. And so I know where Fredericktown is. But anyway, we're doing a video testimonial today. Now the scenario of what's going on here with my new customer, Jim, is I want to explain to you a little bit about how he became my client. All right? And Jim, you quote me if I'm wrong from what you told me. Okay? And then we'll get into the hearing instruments that you got, and then also the Protonic Balancer ring. All right?
All right.
But about 3 weeks ago, I got a call from Jim, and he was had some hearing instruments from another hearing aid company. I think it was in Farmington, and for $6,800 for him to wear them for 30 days, and if he liked them, he buys them, and if he don't, just return them. And so he gave me a call. I could tell by his voice that he was pretty disturbed, and no matter if you're Jim, me, or you, $6,800 is $6,800. And a friend told him to give me a call to see what I could do for him. And when Jim called me, I told him, I said, Jim, I said, first off, for $6,800, you shouldn't have to sell the farm. You shouldn't have to get a part-time job. You shouldn't have to dip into the kids' college fund or tiptoe through the tulips or play musical chairs with these other hearing aid companies just to hear and understand better. And I could tell again that by his voice that he's probably had some restless nights during those 30 days. And so I said, Jim, I'll tell you what we can do. He said, Dan, I've got until this Friday of that week to return these hearing instruments. And he said, I'd like for you to help me. Am I right so far, Jim?
That's right. That's exactly right.
All right. Now, so he came up, we made an appointment, we tested his hearing, we fit him some hearing instruments. They're treated, Jim, as I said, they're treated just like that ring is, and you're going to give your testimony here in just a minute. And when it all comes down to the ending, when we come in for a landing, all right, when all the dust is settled, the hearing instruments, which are brand new, brand spanking new, the channels are high-tech with the microchips in it. He cannot tell any difference than what the $6,800 hearing instruments were and what he got from me. And another neat thing about all of this, again, Jim, not only did you get the new hearing aids, he got the Protonic Balancer, but these hearing instruments never cost him one dime.
That's right.
Because his insurance paid for it all. So that's what I'm saying is that Hartley Hearing Aid Services, I know, will go the extra mile for my clients.
That's right.
And Jim, the individuals who tried to sell you them hearing instruments for $6,800, there's a difference between selling hearing instruments and being fit with hearing instruments, Jim.
That's right.
There really is, and I want to emphasize that fact. And they was hoping that you would wear them for 30 days and the sale would stick. You would come in and give them $6,800. And so anyway, Jim, I'm glad you're my client, and you drove 65 miles up here to the DeSoto office, and Jim, I think it was beneficial for you.
Oh, I know it was.
I hope it was. But Jim, you tell the audience about your hearing aids, how well, you're doing pretty good?
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Now, he's a minister. He pastors a small church on the other side of Fredericktown, Missouri. And Jim, you tell them about what the hearing instruments and that ring is doing for you with your physical situation also. And then how well are you hearing with your hearing instruments?
Okay, the hearing instruments. I was having difficulty hearing the congregation when we would ask, for prayer requests and things like that. And it's hard, and it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
But now, since I purchased these from you, Brother Dan, I can hear real well. My wife, I'd have the TV down low now, and she would say, "Can you hear that?" And I said, yes, I can hear that. It's like night and day, the hearing instruments that I have received from Dan Hartley, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful experience, and I want to talk a little bit about this ring.
Okay,
This
you go ahead.
Platonic balancer, because I'm telling you, I don't know how it works, Brother Dan, but I can tell you this: I know that it works because I've had surgery on my elbow here. I broke this bone that runs down the arm, and it would swell up real big and just ache, something terrible. And since I got this ring from you 2 or 3 weeks ago, I've not had any pain with that at all.
Really?
I had surgery on it. I mean, it's wired together.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've had absolutely no pain with it. And that's the first time in 5 years or so that I've never had no pain with it.
Is that right?
And I've also, I crushed my ankle when I was in my 20s, motorcycle wreck. And I was in the hospital for a week. And as I've gotten older, it's gotten a lot worse. I preach on Sunday mornings, and when I get home, I couldn't hardly walk on it. And
How many years has that been bothering you, Jim?
since I was probably 21, 22 years old, and I'm 55 years old.
Yeah, I saw the ankle. It's as big as an
Yeah.
apple on his
Yeah,
ankle.
I mean, that's the way it formed when it was broke.
That's
but,
right, yeah.
I've had no, I want to say it's taken away 98%
Isn't that something?
of the hurt and the swelling.
Well, that's good.
And also in my elbow, I went and seen a bone specialist just here probably 6 months ago or so. And he said that I have joint damage, arthritis in it, and that's the reason it would swell up.
My.
And I've not had any trouble. I highly recommend Hartley's hearing aid service. And their hearing aids, the Platonic balancer, there is nothing like it. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not.
Well, you're a minister. You're not going to lie.
If it weren't so, I wouldn't have made the trip up
That's
here
right.
to give a testimony.
That's right, Jim, and I appreciate that. And you drove 65 miles just to do this
Yeah.
testimonial, and
That's
I
right.
appreciate that. And again, your hearing instruments, they're open ear,
Yes.
and it kind of matches the color of his hair also. And
Most people don't even know I have them in.
that's right, because the cosmetic part of it. So see, we accomplished several things here, Jim. Not only, it didn't cost you no money at all.
Yeah,
All this was free. Every bit of it was free.
Still standing on.
Yeah, and you feel better about your elbow, your ankle, and probably other things that's going on within your
absolutely.
body. You probably got more energy, strength, less pain, and it's just phenomenal. It really is. And but Jim, is it okay if I put this video on my website? Jim?
Absolutely.
Is that okay?
Yes.
But I appreciate you, Jim. I know you're busy, and you drove all the way up here, Jim. That's about 130 miles round
Yes.
trip, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And I appreciate that, Jim.
Well, that's how much I believe in it. And I know the hearing instruments and this Platonic balancer, they work.
That's right. And see, even if you took your ring off and let somebody borrow it, your hearing aids will still act just like that ring does, because you got, as the Bible says, you got a double portion of.
That's right. And I also want to say about the ring that there's an elderly lady I pick up on Sunday evenings to take her to church, and she was the first one to notice it. But she said, "Man, that's a beautiful ring."
It is.
And
it is.
they're a real nice looking ring.
Pretty classy, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
It sure
And
is.
see, the one you got there is tungsten carbide. And then I have some that's stainless steel also. But it's according to what they want, what the
That's
client
right.
wants. And I got different varieties, and they're nice. They're very nice rings.
Yes, they are.
But Jim, that's a good testimony, my friend. It really is. And Jim, I appreciate you. Would you refer somebody to come to me?
You bet I would.
And
Matter of fact, we're going to try to purchase a couple more of these rings for some family.
well, there you
members
go.
today.
Well, hey, I got them. I got them around here somewhere. I'll find them. I'll find them. But Jim, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brother Dan.
And we appreciate you and your family.
You bet.
So I appreciate Jim a whole lot. He's not only a client, he's a friend. And the Bible says, he who hath friends must shew himself friendly. And Jim, I appreciate it, and I thank you for your trust in us and what we do, and I'm glad I was able to help you.
And I thank God for you.
I appreciate it. You have a good day, and I thank you for your time, and give Hartley Hearing Aid Services a call, and look at our web pages, and if you know somebody, you yourself, neighbor or friend, relative, we'll do the same thing for you. Give us a call today. Thank you so much.